All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What are we looking at today?
Well, we're going to be tackling something I know a lot of you out there are really interested in, and that is employee training and development.
Okay, yeah.
We all want to know the latest trends and strategies, but especially how to make these programs actually work, right?
Make them worth the investment.
Exactly. So, to help us get to the bottom of all this, we're going to be looking at an episode from a podcast called Mindwrks.
Mindwrks.
Yeah, the episode itself is called Training Thursday. And it seems like Mindwrks is some kind of Indian company that focuses on HR solutions.
Huh. Interesting. I haven't heard of them before.
Yeah, they're new to me too. But one of their big points right out of the gate is that in today's crazy, fast-paced business world, investing in training for your employees, it's not really optional anymore.
I mean, they have a point.
It's essential. But is this really true across all industries?
Well, that's a good question.
Or some, like, more resistant to the idea?
I think it's becoming increasingly important pretty much everywhere. You know, certain sectors might be a bit slower to adapt.
Sure, yeah.
But the truth is, with the pace of technology always changing customer expectations, businesses really have to be agile.
Right. Like adapt or die, basically.
Exactly. And if a company just ignores training, it's really putting itself at a disadvantage.
Yeah, and you know, the Mindwrks episode, they actually make a really good point about how it's not just enough to, like, have training programs, right?
Absolutely not.
Like, check in the box.
It needs to be effective.
Yeah, effective training. That's what they really hammer home. And they list all these strategies. So, like, identifying what kind of training you actually need, you know, actually using tech to make it more engaging for people, and actually, like, measuring to see if it's working.
Oh, really important.
Yeah, all the important stuff. But the thing that really stuck out to me was their emphasis on building a whole culture of learning in your company. Honestly, though, you know, sometimes that phrase just feels like a bunch of corporate jargon to me.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, what does it really mean?
Yeah.
So how would you describe a company that actually has a real, genuine learning culture?
You're right to be skeptical. So many companies just throw around these buzzwords, but, you know, they don't actually live it.
Yeah, exactly.
A real learning culture. It's more than just like having those online courses or programs. Learning's actually woven into, like, the DNA of the organization. It's everywhere.
Like baked in.
Exactly. It's this environment where people are constantly being encouraged, being supported to learn and grow. And, you know, this can involve all sorts of things.
Like what?
Mentoring, knowledge sharing, you know, even letting employees go to conferences or getting more education.
Interesting. So it's almost like it's less about the formal programs and more about just building an environment where learning's like a natural part of what you do every day.
Exactly. And, you know, something they emphasized in the episode, leadership buy-in. Like, you know, employees aren't going to prioritize learning if their bosses don't.
Makes sense.
Actions speak louder than words, right?
Yeah.
And if the higher-ups, if they're actually participating, you know, it sets a powerful example.
Totally. Leading by example. It always comes back to that. So Mindwrks also talks about, you know, measuring how effective your training actually is, right?
Yeah.
Tying the outcomes to business metrics.
Yeah, got to show that ROI.
Yeah. Which, honestly, can be really tough to do.
Yeah.
So have you found that, like, actually works? Like, are there any newer or, you know, more innovative approaches that you've seen companies using?
I mean, demonstrating that ROI, that's like super essential. It's how you justify spending the money, right?
Exactly.
And how you get, you know, continued support for it. So the more traditional methods, things like, you know, testing people before and after.
Okay.
Getting feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually tracking, you know, those key performance indicators. Those are all still valuable.
Yeah.
But we are seeing some newer stuff starting to pop up.
Like what?
Some companies are using, like, data analytics and machine learning to actually personalize their training programs, and then they can track the impact.
Wow.
Like in real time. And that lets them really see what's working, what's not, and then adapt.
So it's like less checking boxes and more like actually looking at the data to see what's happening.
Exactly.
Really interesting.
And then another trend that's kind of cool is using simulations and gamification to make the training more engaging.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like if it's actually fun.
People learn better.
Right. And remember it better. It's so fascinating to see how technology is changing all this, you know?
Oh, totally. And it just shows that this whole field, it's always evolving, you know, what worked a few years ago.
I might not cut it now.
Totally.
So, okay, wrapping up. Mindwrks. they have a pretty direct call to action at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want listeners to go to their website, email them, or get this, call them directly.
Oh.
They actually give out their phone number. +9 1-742-0994403.
They really want to connect with people.
Yeah. No kidding. So what's the takeaway for all of you listening? I think, employee training and development, it's an investment. It's worth doing, especially if you do it right.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Investing in your people, it's investing in the future of your company. But I want to leave you with this. Think about your own career,
Oh, yeah.
What skills are going to be really valuable in the next few years?
Right.
And what can you do today to, start developing those?
Ooh, good one. Love it. It's not just about the companies. It's about each of us, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See us.